G'day, ZiggyD here, and in this video I want to give you guys a bit of a guide to the farming strategy and Demon Hunter spec that I just used today while streaming some Diablo 3, preparing for Reaper of Souls. So this weekend there's a double XP bonus going on, 100% increased XP, so people going crazy, sort of farming, warming up for Reaper of Souls, and I thought after attending the Reaper of Souls launch party I'm pretty hyped to jump into the game myself. So we played around with a few different things, had some fun sort of gearing up a Barbarian with Loot 2.0 and all that jazz, and then I decided I wanted to do some farming with Demon Hunter. I tried a few different routes and some of them were pretty cool, pretty fun, but kind of like repetitive and stuff like that. So I ended up deciding to, just by accident, I had reset my quest and I thought I should probably get the quests redone so that I could actually go into Act 5. Well, it turns out you don't need to actually do this. You can just select Act 5 when the expansion pack comes out. So that's all good, but I felt like I had to, so I come up with a bit of a spec to speed run the game essentially. So I put it on normal difficulty and speed run, like did a bit, basically built a Demon Hunter style of play that would allow me to farm the the entirety of normal difficulty of the game all the way through in one go as quickly as possible. And I ended up clearing the game with some stopping for talking to the stream and stuff like that, pretty casually sort of speed clearing in about two and a bit hours, so just over 2 hours. We basically listened to the Reaper of Souls soundtrack through twice, which was pretty fun. But it ended up being really effective. I got 5 legendaries during that time, 2 and a bit Paragon levels at level 80, and it felt like pretty efficient. Not quite as efficient as some of like the really repetitive short runs that you can do, but overall like really efficient, but also fun. Like being in super go fast mode, like one-shotting everything and just running through the game as quickly as possible was kind of a different and fun experience. And the fact that I got a bunch of legendaries on top of that really quickly, and then the guaranteed legendary from Diablo at the end of the game, I thought, this is cool, this is kind of fun. Maybe some of you guys might be interested in trying this out. So basically you take advantage of this new reset quests feature. You reset the quest and then you run through the entire game start to finish as quickly as possible, all the way through. And you can just do it in one sitting, do it very quickly, or you can break it up into a couple of sittings if you want to. And then when you do defeat Diablo after that resetting of the quests, when you play all the way through, you do get a guaranteed legendary, and you get a lot of other legendaries along the way. I actually ended up getting 2 legendaries, a chest piece and a ring, that were just like big stat increases for me as well, which is surprising because my character is actually pretty well geared. Like, I spent a fair bit of gold on the auction house gearing this character back when it was in the game, and getting 2 legendary upgrades in a normal run, when you think, I should probably be farming Torment for a chance at the better legendaries, to, get some upgrades. Actually getting good upgrades in normal was pretty insane. So for this video, what you're watching right now, I recorded just a quick 10-minute run. I did, probably almost a half of Act 1 in that 10 minutes, and I actually got 3 legendaries in that 10-minute run. So that was a little bit luckier than normal, but it kind of goes to show the idea is you kill stuff really quickly, you're killing a lot of stuff, you're hitting a lot of those little mini bosses and unique mobs very quickly, and through that you're getting XP from the quests, which gets multiplied by the XP bonus. Along with the killing of those mobs, you still get a fair bit of XP in the end, and getting those 3 legendaries was pretty rad. And one of those legendaries is actually pretty good as well. So just to sort of show you guys, I'll switch on over here. The 3rd legendary I got, let me bring up my camera here, was this one here, Izukob, and actually a bit of an increase over my Manticore, like with the gem taken out, a slightly less damage total overall, but probably a more useful weapon because of the discipline in it as well. So that's pretty cool. The raw damage of Manticore is still a little bit higher, but for speed running like this, I think Izukob is going to be really, really badass. So I'm pretty keen to play around with this guy. Having the extra discipline, it's going to mean more vaulting. I'm going to probably continue to stream some speedruns to see kind of how fast I can clear the game and how many legendaries we can get in like one full clear of the game. So without any further ado, let me show you guys the spec that I use for speedrunning. This is sort of refined over the course of speedrunning today, and then a little bit more at the end of this stream when we sort of thought about how it went. So basically, we use Shuriken Cloud with Chakram Shuriken Cloud rune, this one here down the end, which casts a Shuriken Cloud around your character. This is just sort of a passive offensive thing. This will one-shot most things in normal if your DPS is reasonable. I have 150k DPS, sheet DPS unbuffed. And this will one-shot a lot of trash mobs, but the main reason it's there is it allows you to bust through doors without attacking, so you don't need to stop to attack doors or barriers or any of that sort of stuff that gets in your way, pots and all that sort of stuff. So you'll just passively kill things around you. It's got a pretty decent AoE, basically where you can see it'll kill things in that area. If you have firewalkers, you probably don't really need to use this, but there's no reason to not use this. I think it's a nice skill, and you're not going to ever be using a generator in this build. That's the idea. Now we use Strafe. Strafe is a decent AoE and it's gotten better in the recent patch, but for speed running, it's #1 probably skill in the game, I would say. And I use Drifting Shadow, which is just the move speed boost. You should be able to one-shot everything anyway, so Drifting Shadow is just about being able to path through mobs, kill them with both your chakrams and kill them with both your Strafe as well, kind of ranged kill things as well. So it ends up being really fast. And I use the move speed one, increases your move speed to 100% of your regular move speed, which I think is pretty important in the speed run. It's mostly about being able to go really fast. So pretty easy stuff. We basically just hold this down whenever we're around other mobs, and in addition to using a few of our other abilities, we end up going pretty fast a lot of the time. Next up, we use Vault with Tumble. Makes sense, it's the fastest sort of movement skill in the game. You tumble at 35 yards, pretty decent tumble, and then the second one actually has reduced discipline cost, so you can basically spam it a lot more. Now, we also use Preparation Focused Mind, which gives us 45 discipline over 15 seconds. The total amount of discipline you get back from this is more than just using like preparation by itself, basically. You get 45 over 15 seconds instead of 30 all at once. The idea is that you're tumbling, which uses a bit of discipline over time, but because it's cheaper every second one, it's not too much. And then you're just popping it, and as you're going, it's just regenning, and you get the full effect of that just from vaulting around. So that ends up being really effective there. Now I use Fan of Knives to basically one-shot elite packs and rares, the stuff that you won't one-shot with Strafe and Chakram as well as just to give you more effective AoE, because Strafe kind of targets things and Chakram's only very short on you, whereas this is a bit longer ranged. I also use the rune Throw long-ranged knives, Assassin's Knives, 450 to 5 additional targets, just helps snipe off a few extra things. The rune that you use on this doesn't matter too much, but I find that that is the most effective one there. So that ends up working out pretty nicely, just as when you need that little bit of extra burst damage or need to clear out a pack that's kind of in the way, or if you're kind of running a bit low on your other resources, you can pop it because it's a cooldown. It's free to use, basically. If these are skeletons getting in the way, I can just kind of pop that before I get to them, and then everything ends up dying and you feel pretty good. Now I use the Bat Companion because the Hatred regen helps us sustain Strafe, and whenever we're running low on our Hatred, so we've been strafing around through a lot of different packs, our Hatred's running pretty low, we can simply pop that, get a bit more, and then when we're running a bit low again, we can go back to vaulting and letting our Chakrams do the killing as well as the Fan of Knives. So that works out pretty nicely there. Tactical advantage is a must-have. Every time you vault, you gain 60% move speed boost for 2 seconds. So what you're trying to do is vault, run for about 2 seconds. When that's just before that wears off, you want to vault again. So you'll get the timing of that down pretty quickly, and you can scoot around very quickly. And the move speed also carries over into Drifting Shadow as well. So you end up strafing really fast, which is the whole idea behind that move speed there. We also use Hot Pursuit, which increases our move speed by 20% whenever we hit an enemy. Because we're strafing and chakraming and Fan of Knives in constantly, we're pretty much always hitting enemies, so we always end up with 20% overcapped move speed there, in addition to like the tumble move speed on top of that as well, so it ends up being quite a lot. And in terms of the third passive, we use Night Stalker, which critical hits has a chance to restore 1 discipline, which basically helps keep you fueling that vault. Another good alternative to this one, if you find you've not too running out of discipline too much, maybe you're running out of too much hatred, and I might also try this one, is your maximum hatred is increased by 25, in addition you gain 30 hatred and 3 discipline whenever you're healed by Health Globe. I think this one's quite good as well. I think these are kind of interchangeable. If you have high crit chance, maybe you go for this one. If you have a lower crit chance, maybe go for Blood Vengeance, so both of those are very good options. And in the end, it all comes together just to have you a very, very fast-moving build that just clears things out in the lowest difficulty as quickly as possible. And through the mass killing of mobs and bosses and the fast clearing of games, you end up getting quite a bit of XP and also quite a few legendary drops. Anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed it. That's it for now. I'm ZiggyD, and thanks for watching.